Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Cynthia with Azul Painting out of New York. Welcome. I want to thank you for joining me today. So, Cynthia, let's get started. What brings you here to chat with me? Tell me a little bit about the business and tell me an area that you're wanting us to focus on today.
Sure. So we have been in business for about 4 years.
Okay.
My husband's been in the industry for 20 something years. He's been painting since he was 17. I actually come from corporate, a much different background.
Okay.
And then I left corporate to start the business with him and just be more available, have more flexibility in my schedule. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I didn't realize it was going to be a painting company, but here
Yeah.
I
Me
am.
either. It's funny. That's my story too.
Yeah, isn't that
I didn't
weird?
think it'd be the painting business, but here we are.
But here we are, yeah, and so I think we started right before COVID, and
Okay.
when COVID happened, I thought, oh my God, what did I do? I walked away from my career. This is the end of me, like the
You're
worst thing
crazy.
ever. Right, and then it was, a blessing in disguise. We were nonstop busy for 4 years until about November of 22.
Okay.
And then things just kind of slowed down. And I think we hadn't really been in the industry before COVID, so we weren't really prepared for the slow months, the slow
Right.
season, I guess, for the winter here,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we'd been busy for
Sure.
nonstop for so
Yep.
long. And
Uh-huh.
so I think we were caught off guard,
Okay.
and we've been really slow up until like today, where we just confirmed a job for Monday.
Yeah, and
So
you're kind of treading because it's like, all right, we have a job for next week, and it's like it's always
yeah,
like praying that we get another job. And
exactly.
I've been there. I can
Yeah.
attest to you that this is normal, and this is a result of just you're missing some systems in place to stop this from happening. Tell me, who's doing all the painting? Is it still your husband?
So my husband, he has a crew of about right now four. We've had up to six guys.
Okay,
We
so
have
you had
two.
to did you have to let them go?
We did. So they're kind of like on standby. So we regrouped them for Monday. At least three of them plus my husband.
And that's a problem because you don't want to get those jobs done too quick either, right? Isn't
No.
that interesting how we want to make sure that we normally we want jobs to be done fast, but in this case, like I can tell that, just from briefly talking to you, you're people driven, I'm sure. You guys have employees.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
We do.
Let me ask you this, just, out of curiosity. I'm going to go through some bases here. You tell me yes or no. Website,
Yes.
Google listing,
Yes.
Facebook page,
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure those bases are covered. Do you have a payroll company?
Yes.
Who is it?
Heartland.
Okay, so they run all the payroll for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, all right, so all the bases are covered in that regard. Now, let me ask you this. How have you been getting your business? Let's just do some sample data. This job that you have next week, how did you find that job? How did they find you, in other words?
They found us through Google.
Okay, so they did a Google search for painting companies and found you that way.
Yep.
Okay. Your last job that you had, how'd they find you?
Our last job was a referral.
Okay. The job before that.
The job before that was also a referral.
Okay. So, have you purchased leads before?
We have,
And
and
who'd you
our
do that with?
first year we did. We did Home Advisor, and it was
Okay.
extremely,
Horrible, right?
yeah, so
It was a bad
expensive.
experience. It was expensive and it was a bad
It
experience,
was
right?
horrible, horrible. And
Okay.
I keep pausing my leads for 30 days. I mean, we don't use them
Every
every,
time, right? You just
yeah,
keep doing it so
right.
you don't
Because I
lose
don't
it.
want to lose the profile on there or our
Right. Okay.
reviews, but
Yep. Okay.
we don't
So
use them.
that's good. Um, and then outside of that, have you done any form of outbound marketing?
So I've done some print media. There's like a local magazine that we advertise. When we first started, I'm still a huge believer in print media. I know I'm like old school.
No, I think there's room for it. I'm with you. Go ahead.
And then really, I mean, just
So that
Google.
print media, let me ask you a question. On that print media, do you have any way to track results?
No,
So in other words, did you get a separate phone number to put on that print media to track calls from that print media?
no.
So we need to make sure that you do that because if you can't track it, then you're just wasting money. No one could have ever called you from that ever.
Yep, it's true.
So I would recommend investing in a software for the phone system of the company. What software are you using for that, if any?
No, none. My cell
Okay.
phone.
So I want you to, today after we're done this call, there's a program called Open Phone, and it's a cloud-based phone system, and you can add multiple phone numbers. So if you ever do print media again, you can add a phone number and name it, Summer Hills Media Book.
Okay.
And whenever that phone call comes in,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it came in from because that's the only place you put that phone number. And yeah, that phone number is going to cost you $5 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But think of it as an investment as in your marketing expense, right?
Okay.
Another cool thing about having open phone and a cloud-based phone system is it's no longer your phone. So as you become a successful business owner in this space and as you grow, you might say, you know what, I'm tired of answering this phone. And hopefully that's a good problem that you have, and you want to pass that on to someone else. You don't have to give them your cell phone, because right now that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
So we want to change the phone number of the business completely. We don't want it to be your personal cell phone number that you've had for, 10 years, 12 years?
Yeah, well, I walk around with two phones, like my personal and then my
And
company
then
phone, and it's
oh, good. So that's good. So what you can do is you can port that company phone number onto open phone,
okay.
and you can get rid of the physical phone that you're carrying around.
Okay.
And you can actually have the phone calls that go through open phone route to your phone.
Oh, nice.
So you know that they're business calls. It'll say Azul Painting on it, and then you can say, hey, thank you, and you can do your greeting.
Right, right, because that was the whole thing. I didn't want to answer
I know.
the school and be
So,
like Azul Painting.
yeah, so for me, it just routes to my phone. Hey, thank you for calling Premium Painting, and then I can do my greeting. Okay? So covering some bases there. So in terms of outbound, so you've done a little print. You did Home Advisor once. Anything else?
I was doing. I used to use Thrive,
Okay.
and then they were extremely expensive. And then some really nice guy called, and he was like, "Oh, I can save you a bunch of money and do it through us," which I guess they're called Develop. So I moved over to them, and now I'm only saving like $400 a month. I mean, it's a decent amount, right?
Okay. How are
But
they doing? Because it doesn't sound like you're doing very good if you have no work.
you know, so I have better visibility into metrics and whatnot, but it was a trade-off because Thrive used to do all of my SEO and social media, and now they are only doing my SEO and not my social media. So now I'm stuck doing
Social
posts.
media is average if they're just doing posts. No one can see posts were cool 10 years ago. Everyone would have saw them, and they made them cool to where you get all this engagement. Facebook says if you don't pay us, no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
So you don't need someone to do posts. You need someone to run ads.
Okay.
That's the key. Doing posts, you wasting your time doing your posts to the same people that have liked your page. I mean, it's just not worth your time.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to do, but if you're not putting money behind that post, forget it.
Okay.
We want new exposure with our posts.
Yes.
Do we want to remind our current audience who have liked our painting page? Sure, but even our current audience isn't going to see it.
Right.
That's just the reality of it.
Right, because
Right?
I mean, I wasn't getting any, and I'm still not getting any.
Getting one or two likes on a post, and
Right.
one's from your family, right?
Exactly, and you're like, oh, this is weird.
you're
Like,
go Cynthia, we're supposed
right.
to,
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, this is
Yeah.
so strange. Like, I should be getting, I don't know, like I want to increase,
Yeah, the good old algorithm. Okay, so, all right, so we want to reframe our mindset about marketing, okay? Because if you've been burned by Home Advisor, you're never going to go back to that because you have, in your mind, you had a poor experience, okay? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I want to break down that because you have to be impartial to our emotions when it comes to these lead generators and aggregators. First of all, you don't have the leverage to shut off your leads.
Yeah.
You don't. And it sucks because right now you need them more than they need you. Okay? And you got to get to a point where they need you more than you need them, right? And you do that through building up such a reputation that organic traffic starts to find you. And that's through just having a bunch of reviews on Google, and that's through being involved in the community. And the only way you can do that is if you're doing a lot of work. So you need work. That's goal number one. You got to get work. I don't care how you get it. Even if you don't make money on it, we need to keep our team busy.
Yep.
Because if we're sending people home, we're literally losing our most valuable resource, and that is our labor. Because if we have good labor, we already separate ourselves from 90% of a competition. Would you understand that?
Absolutely.
And confirm that? Okay.
Absolutely.
So the next thing we need to do is we need to first assign a budget to marketing. Okay. I don't want to get personal, but you can tell me yes or no. Do you have at least $2,000?
Yes.
Okay. So with $2,000, and let me ask you this, and I'm going to break this down even further because I really want you to see the big picture here. How many estimates did you do this week? And who does the estimates? Is it you or your husband?
I do.
Okay. How many did you do?
I have done one, two, three, four.
You've done 4 estimates this week. Okay. Were they qualified estimates? You gave them the entire proposal, good estimates, you know.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to talk about those. Okay. But if you only have one job on the schedule, okay, we need more than 4 estimates. That's not enough. That's only one almost every day. The goal should be 2 or 3 a day. If you have 6 painters, because you ultimately have 2 crews.
Yeah, exactly.
You have 2 crews of 3.
Yep.
Okay. So we need a rehab here. And I think the very first thing is, your husband planning on working on Monday?
Well,
He
yeah,
needs to be home.
he shouldn't, but
He
yeah.
should not put his hands on that job.
Okay.
You guys need to stretch out that job as long as possible.
Okay.
You know, so it takes the pressure off of you guys. You know, because that, even if they finish on Wednesday, you know,
Right.
we're in trouble for Thursday and Friday. Let them stretch it out to Friday and just make sure everybody makes a full week's worth of paycheck. $2,000 on Home Advisor, which is now called Angie. You know how many leads that is? On average, it's about 17 leads.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
17 people that put in their information. Okay. So I want you to tell me what your experience was with them and why it was so bad, aside from it being expensive.
So we would get leads, and I mean, I would call probably right away, and the customer would say, "Oh, I've talked to 10 other contractors already."
And what did you say?
And I would say, "Oh, that's kind of interesting. You know, usually they only send them out to 3 or 4 contractors and,
Okay.
you know, whatnot." She was like, "No, you know," and so a lot of times they would be annoyed by the time I called.
Okay.
Or the customer would just be looking for like the cheapest price out there,
Okay.
not necessarily quality.
Okay.
And we're not the cheapest out there. We're not the most expensive, but
Okay.
you know, we sell quality work.
Okay. Sure.
So I think those were the 2 major things, that we were competing not within the same level that we.
How long did you purchase leads from Home Advisor?
Probably about a year, a little
And
less
how
than a
many
year.
how many reviews have you garnished?
25.
Wow. So you did a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you need to understand something. There was a time period. Here's what happened. There's a time period where you had a stretch of bad luck when you were buying those leads. And you said, you know what, this isn't worth it. Maybe you had 10 people that just kept telling you, no, Cynthia, I want the cheapest price. I already talked to 10 people and all this. And you know what you said? I'm done with this. When in reality, in order for you to get 25 reviews, you had to have completed at least 50 jobs through them. Right?
Yep.
And those 50 jobs ultimately probably generated you, on average, if they're $3,000 a piece, which is considerably low where you live,
Yeah.
$150,000. Yes or no?
Yep.
Okay. And do you think you spent $150,000 on leads with Home Advisor?
No.
No. So we look at it from the big picture. We look at, okay, if I were to audit you for the year and say, Cynthia, you sold $150,000 on Home Advisor and you only spent $10,000, why aren't you doing this again? That's the mindset behind it, because right now you need to see yourself as a sales company. You're not a painting company.
Okay.
You need to sell the job. So ultimately, what you have in Home Advisor, which now Angie is a partnership, they're saying, listen, I'm going to send you people that have expressed interest. That's our only responsibility. Cynthia, when you call that lead, you shouldn't engage in any other dialogue other than, I'm available tomorrow around 2 o'clock. Does that work for you? There shouldn't be any conversation about anyone else they talk to. Cynthia, oh, I'm not ready yet. No problem. We're going to give you a quote for when you are ready. I already talked to 10 contractors. Great. My favorite number is 11.
Okay.
That's the mindset you have to survive in business.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, it is a competitive game. But ultimately, if you can be creative and you can shift up shake up the MO there, when it comes to these leads, you can actually touch people's hearts. And then when you show up, I'm sure you're extremely professional. You probably make people feel extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
And ultimately, emotion's going to kick in. And that's what people do when they buy residential painting projects, is they supersede logic with emotion. And they do that because ultimately they're not project managers with a budget that need to get 3 bids. They're
Right.
just people that are tired and they want to see what their house will look like when it's painted. Okay? So I need you to, I hope I rewired some things about your perception of this, because right now, for you to be shutting that off with $2,000 in the bank, you're essentially saying that the $2,000 that you have in the bank is worth more than the longevity of your business. You need to get rid of the money. It's not serving you in your bank.
Right.
It might make you feel comfortable. And here's the deal. I came from corporate. I actually had that employee mindset as well. How long have you worked in corporate for?
I worked in corporate for 22 years.
What day did you get paid?
I got paid every other Friday.
Okay, every other Friday. And what did you do? Did you go into your bank account? What did you do with the money?
Spent it,
And then
probably.
what did you do? Where'd you transfer it?
I transferred some to my savings.
Okay. And okay, so ultimately you did some spending, and what else did you do? Saving, right? You did those two things. Okay, you're a business owner now, so there's a third component you were not taught about. And what is that?
Marketing.
Which is investing.
Yes.
Okay, so you need to adopt that new attribute to the way you operate with money. Money is no longer just designed to be spent and saved. Money is designed to be invested so you can make more money, spend it, save it, and invest it. Whatever order you do those is up to you. My advice early on in your business is whenever your husband delivers you a final payment, you need to say, how much do we need to bring more money back into our business? So how much of this needs to be reallocated into leads and marketing? And then how much needs to go to our labor and overhead? And then how much is left for us?
Okay.
Because here's the deal. Failing companies, ultimately, really the reason why they're failing is because they don't know how to allocate resources properly. That's what it comes down to.
That's my biggest challenge. It's my biggest, stomach ache. Just not knowing. And we made 300,000 last year, and I sit back and I think, okay, but I mean, our target obviously is 600 this year, but how do I get there? Because I almost feel like it was luck to some extent.
Well, I mean, you did a great job. You came in blindly to help your husband, and you guys created something great. You want to keep it going, but also this is your biggest stressor in life.
Yes.
You're always wondering about the next job, but here's the deal. When you have a loaded schedule, that takes the pressure off a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we've always been 2-3 months scheduled out, and
okay. So now reality's hitting you in the mouth.
Yes.
He's having to change the way he does things, and you having to tell people you don't have work probably breaks your heart, because it would mine.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm sure you built some good people around you.
Yeah.
So the reality is, it starts with you though. You adopted the role and responsibility of, I'm going to make sure that we have appointments and I sell the jobs. Okay. Now, remember, money is worthless in the bank right now for you.
Yeah.
You have to invest in yourself. There's no greater investment than one that you can control. And if you say, you know what, I'm going to give the money right now, this $2,000, I'm going to call Angie, I'm going to buy $2,000 worth of leads. Okay? As soon as that lead comes in, you need to be on the phone within seconds. Now, you might have seen my app. It's called Dripjobs. Okay? We integrate directly with them, so not only will you be able to call, then Dripjobs will send them a text and an email over the next few days, and even a month or even a year, nurturing that lead, encouraging them to book with you and staying on top of them. Because right now, chances are, if you got a Home Advisor Angie lead, you wouldn't follow up with them beyond the first few days, would you?
Right.
And you can't operate that way. If you've ever had a sales job, which I don't think you have.
No.
Okay, so sales is about survival. Survival means resourcefulness. Resourcefulness means exhausting all resources. Okay? And really what that comes down to is, in this dry time today that you have, if I said to you, Cynthia, get on all of those leads that you've had in the last 30 days right now, I need you to make phone calls. The hardest part would be organizing them all.
Right.
And finding their phone numbers and finding how to reach out to them. You have no way to make easy outreach to your clients. And that's important. So that's the first part of your business, is this lead generation side. Second side, how many estimates have you given this week? You said 4? Are you doing those quotes on the spot?
No.
Why aren't you doing them on the spot?
I don't think I have a system that allows me to.
Okay, so what do you guys do? Interior, exterior, cabinets? What do you do?
We do all of the above.
You do cabinets. Okay. Cynthia, let me tell you something right now. You are in a cabinet economy. There should be 0% chance that you should ever be without work if you market your cabinet services the right way. Do you understand that concept? Okay. So I want you to understand this. There is nothing stopping you from selling a cabinet job on the spot. It's the easiest thing to quote in the world.
Okay.
$100 a door is your baseline.
Right.
I mean, count the doors, go in your car, and again, I mean, you do, or what software are you guys using?
We're using this Visita?
All right, get rid of it. I'm going to give you Dripjobs for 60 days for free. You're going to use that, okay?
Okay.
We're going to get that going because you need it, and you use it, and it's going to help you on the lead side. It's going to help you on the proposal side. So what you do, you're going to open up your phone. You're going to have Dripjobs. You're going to have your tablet template. You're going to open it up. You're going to punch in how many doors. It's going to calculate the price. You're going to get out of your car. You're going to open up your iPad and display that beautiful price right in front of that customer and say, let's get on the schedule. Good. All you got to do is sign here. On the next page, they put in their credit card, deposit, done.
Okay.
Because ultimately, again, remember, we're selling emotional services.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The second thing I want you to do whenever you have a cabinet job, I don't know if you're doing this, what are you walking in the house with? Please tell me you have a sample door.
No.
Okay. Never, ever, for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Actually, for the first month, you need to be walking around everywhere you go with a sample door. Just hold it in your hands.
Okay.
Okay. Half of the door should be oak or whatever the wood is. The other half should be a painted side of the door showcasing the quality of your husband's work.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys spray the doors, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all you do is tape off one side of it and have him finish the other side. You take that into an estimate, you put it down on the table and say, this is the quality of our work. This is what your cabinets are going to look like. Can you see how valuable that would be for somebody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Because when they're comparing other quotes and they see that somebody's going to come in and brush and roll their beautiful kitchen cabinets, okay, here you go. Now you have something tangible. For house painting quotes, of course, it's a little bit trickier, but ultimately what you want to do is you want to come up with an easy way to estimate a house painting job based on your costs.
Okay.
Okay? We're not going to get into production rates. I have a calculator I'm going to give you. It'll make it easy for you to do this. The goal here is for you to sell jobs on the spot so you can get more results. Okay? Third part of this is your follow-up. Those 4 estimates that you have, none of them bought yet, right?
None of them have bought yet. No.
Okay. Is there one that stands out to you that you thought, man, we connected really well, and I think they're going to go with us?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent the proposal when?
Last night.
Last night. So they had some time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's what you're going to do. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable, but Cinthya, I'm going to help you get over. I want you to, you're going to be successful. I know this. It's just you need some systems. You need some strategy. You need to call these people and say, Miss Jones, how are you? It's Cinthya with Azul. Hey, I'm doing great, Cinthya. First thing I have to ask is, did you have any questions on the proposal that I sent over to you? Oh, well, no, I didn't have to say, great. Listen, here's the deal. I'm just being honest. I'm a business owner wanting to keep my team busy. I have an opening Wednesday. I don't know if you were thinking about getting it done that quick, but listen, here's what we'll do. Now, you think about what you're going to give that person to book with you for that date. Okay, now that could be a discount, that could be that could be a value proposition. You might have saw that the laundry room needed a shelf put in it, and they were worried about it, or a drywall repair was. Say, listen, I'll do that for free if you let me get in Wednesday as a thank you.
Okay.
That's where your brain should be whenever you're doing quotes. It's like you need to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? You're going to find that it isn't accidental. I think you were doing all this before, but you didn't have the pressure.
Right. Exactly.
When you have the pressure, we start to panic and think that, we stumbled across success. I'm going to go back to my corporate job. I can't do this anymore. We need security. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, Cinthya, be honest with you, you didn't have security there. It was just a facade. Okay.
Yep.
You have more security in you being able to control your own income, control your own outcome. Now. So was this helpful for you?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay. I want you to come back, next month and let me know what happened.
Okay.
All right. So please book another time with me.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to give you that 60 days of Dripjobs free. Okay. I want you to use it. Go to dripjobs.com, sign up. I'll give you 60 days when I see you come in. You're going to get a link to book an onboarding session. Book it with Sunny. We'll get you set up. We'll teach you how to use the software. Okay. I'm also going to connect you with my marketing friend. And what he's going to do is explain to you how Facebook ads work. Cinthya, listen, you're doing cabinet refinishing. It's booming right now. All you need to do is get exposure.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to connect you with him as well. You guys discuss if it's a good fit. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
If you need anything else, reach out. Go get it. Call those people right now. Get on them.
I will. Thank you so much, Tanner.
And if you sell a job, tell me. I want to hear about it.
I will. Thank you.
Yep. Good luck.
Thanks.